Welcome to episode 46 of the Tourism Hub podcast, brought to you by the Institute of Excellence and the Australian Regional Tourism Network. Today we're celebrating something really special. The art convention is just around the corner, and we are also launching an exciting new partnership with the Australian Regional Tourism Network. In this episode, we're throwing it back to some incredible interviews I conducted last year with legends of the Australian tourism industry. You'll hear from Peter Freeman of WOOF Media, my sister Liz Ward from Tourism Tribe, Sarah O'Mara from Flare Access, and Merrin Ozols from Fluro Peninsula Tourism, and so many more. It's an episode packed with Australian regional tourism goodness, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. Now, before we dive into the conversations, though, it's time to announce the winner of the coveted golden ticket, granting full registration to join me and the art team around the country in Mackay for the 2024 Australian Regional Tourism Convention. Drum roll, please. The winner is Melissa Sauter Robertson. Melissa is the Tourism and Marketing Coordinator at the Shire of Collie in Western Australia. Isn't it amazing how LinkedIn and social media brought us together from Melbourne to WA, and now we're going to meet and hang out in Mackay next week. Congratulations, Melissa. I loved your video and I just can't wait to hang out together next week. Some fun times ahead. So without further ado, let's jump into this special episode of the Tourism Hub podcast. Our final ARTful chat, Sarah O'Mara from Flare Access. Thank you for agreeing to come and join, and just it's a good opportunity to unpack. We are fully loaded with some great, we just had the most amazing panel session from a real Newcastle blend of tourism operators doing great things in this region. And it was amazing to see in that exchange of one of them operators, Coastal XP and Dom, coming to you and saying from your session and what you do at Flare Access has had a great impact in his business and the way he does things. So that's the first question. Tell us about Flare Access and how you support regional tourism businesses, communities and destinations around the country.
Thanks. Yeah, it was so exciting to have Dom approach and to share that really good outcome for him. So Flare Access specializes in accessible tourism consulting, and we support operators, RTOs, STOs to create accessible destinations. So through training, mentoring, access consulting, to really develop accessible and inclusive customer experiences with the goal to develop accessible destinations. So not just developing one-off accessible operators, because we want to really extend a person's stay or visit in a location. So to create accessible destinations and to support operators to learn how to develop accessible tourism experiences. Operators specialize in what they're offering, whether that's in hospitality or tours or boat tours or bike tours, like we were saying earlier. That's what they get excited about, and that's what they specialize in. And we really focus on making it easy to make an accessible customer experience, because it can feel a bit overwhelming. And so we really try and make it as simple and digestible as possible for operators, because it's such an important space to develop. And to see Dom come up and share. So we ran in partnership with the City of Newcastle, must have been about 2 years ago now, ran a webinar on the benefits of accessible tourism and how to get started. And to see 2 years on that he's made all these changes to his customer experience and provided all this information on his website and really embraced that was really, really exciting to see.
So, it was exciting for me to see as educators in this space, when you have that feedback and you see he's someone that's really had a incredible growth and that you've made a difference to the business. So congratulations.
Thank you.
That's some excellent work. And like we were saying earlier, we met at the first Australian accessible conference
Mm-hmm.
this year in
Mm-hmm.
2023.
Yeah, first in
And with
person.
first in person,
Yeah.
yes, event and conference. And I just
Yeah.
feel like we have we're in that second phase of momentum
Yes.
in accessible tourism.
Yes. It's so exciting to see how the industry has shone such a spotlight on accessible tourism, and I'm feeling the shift now. RTOs, STOs, the industry as a whole, operators, now they're understanding that the value in it, the benefit, that it is good for business. It's an economic strategy that they can incorporate. We're understanding that now, that there's economic benefit. Now we're moving on to, so what do we do about it? How do we make those changes? We're moving from the why is it important to the how do we do it? And that's a really exciting transition, because now we can really focus on supporting operators, supporting organizations and destinations to incorporate accessible features. And to see that transition, I'm having less conversations and running less workshops now on why it's important, and really working on steps what to do. So it's so exciting to see that within the 12 months. I mean, it was just earlier this year that April. It feels a long time ago. But it's exciting to see.
It really has been. I'm curious your journey into Flare Access. Tell me about how Sarah's come to be a real expert in this space. Your why?
Yeah, my why is my family with disability. So I have family who are neurodivergent and also wheelchair users, and I'm an occupational therapist by background. So I work with people with disability to increase their independence in their day-to-day. And I was living overseas. I was in London at the time and was speaking to my uncle who uses a wheelchair. And I was sharing how I just booked a trip. I think it was on the Thursday and I was going out on the Saturday. So I was able to just jump online, book something and fly out. And I was speaking to him and he was really excited. He was booking a trip to move to travel overseas through the UK and Europe, and he had to plan 7 months in advance because it was so hard to book accessible experiences. And seeing that firsthand, and seeing it even on his day-to-day when we go out to family dinners, and the effort that it takes to book accessible experiences, something that I take for granted, and I love the idea that not everyone can experience these incredible experiences, that as an operator, you're offering a service because you're excited about it, you're passionate about it, and you want everyone to experience that. And to have barriers to people with disability and others with access needs, I just thought there's got to be a better way. So I entered accessible tourism, and I am so passionate about seeing the change towards greater inclusion. It's a journey. It's one day we might see accessible design for everyone and everything, but we're not there yet. So the idea of just doing what we can and supporting operators and to create accessible destinations, to just do what we can, because like I said, we want everyone to experience the beauty of our destination, the beauty of our beaches, the beauty of our experiences. And so often barriers are in place that can be removed, and it's just having that awareness. So often I'll go out somewhere and I'm just like, oh, if they just made this change, it would just be so much more accessible. And often it's just those small changes that really make a difference. And I love seeing the shift in the industry now. It's very, very exciting.
Is that difficult when you see something as just as a consumer?
Yeah.
To not say something? Like, how do you take that approach? You just go, oh, yeah. I guess it's something like,
it is hard.
Yeah.
It is. I see it every,
you must see,
I just see access.
Yeah.
So there are ways. Sometimes I will just approach a person if there is a owner or operator or decision maker around, and I might just make a suggestion here and there, and often they're very open to hearing that feedback. And other times, I recognize there's a bit of work and education to be done, but it's it is hard. But we're seeing shifts, we're seeing changes, we're seeing operators now having a willingness to make change,
Yes,
which is really
yes.
positive.
And I love that observation that you've made. It's gone more from even in the work that you're doing to just keep like the why, the benefit, to now like there's readiness and openness, and to say, okay, we're ready. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's start to take these actions towards it.
Peter Freeman, WOOF Media, thank you. Thank you for always showing up and travelling the distance from your home in Canada.
Do my best.
You do your best, and and very different weather, right?
Very much so. It was 9 degrees when I left.
Wow.
It's 34 today out there.
It's so much to unpack with you. You're a regional Australian tourism ambassador.
Yes.
You're a digital brother in arms with myself and the team at Tourism Tribe. We'll start with WOOF Media, I think, and just the work that you've been able to deliver, and the strong connection that you still hold, even though your family and lives abroad, you're still very much tied in and have a business that's very much regionally Australian focused. So if you just talk to that a little bit.
Yeah, well, I guess why regional? I mean, I grew up on a farm in regional South Australia, spent some time in regional Victoria, so I have a very strong personal connection to regional Australia, regional communities. So I think once that's in your blood, it's really hard to step away from that. Even moving internationally, I blame my wife for that. We moved back to her hometown 10 years ago, but having been part of WOOF Media at that point, we decided to give the whole remote work thing a crack, and 10 years later, we're still doing it. And through that process, we evolved our business to niche down in regional tourism. So at that stage, we weren't specifically niched in tourism, and we've gone through a process over the last 10 years to really do that. And that's opened us up beyond just South Australia, where we started, and we're now working with destinations and businesses right across Australia, but specifically in regional tourism. So that's very much our passion, our niche.
You were before your time in remote working,
Yes.
right? Yeah, and making it work when it's now that it's very much part of our lives and it's the norm. But you made it work from a long time ago. Now, and what you do at WOOF, and what I've always loved and respected about your work, Peter, is that it's beyond. It's so much more than delivering a sexy website.
Yeah, and that's part of what we do, but and I have a philosophical aspect to that in trying to make more of a success out of something than just designing something pretty, handing it over, and then saying, job's done. And we were talking about that yesterday on our table. We had the table talks with the groups, and we were specifically talking about Google Analytics and the role of measuring success of your websites. And that's really part of that early discussion we have with our clients, whether it's a destination or a tourism operator. What are you trying to get out of the website from a business perspective? Because at the end of the day, technology is great. There's all this cool tech that we can implement, but if it's not delivering business outcomes or growth or whatever the objective is, every destination, every business is slightly different in terms of what it needs to do. But we start with that discussion. What's the end goal? And then we work back from that.
So important to know what does success look like and what we want to achieve. And just speaking to that, your round table as an art ambassador that you held with delegates yesterday around your table, there was a focus on analytics. What is challenging organisations and businesses and people at the moment around this change from Universal to Google Analytics for?
Yeah, I'm not sure I'll ever forgive Google for messing it all up for us, but I think there's been this Universal Analytics has been around for 15, 20 years or whatever it's been, so there's a lot of assumed knowledge in that space, and then it's such a big change. But probably more visible things technically to a lot of organizations. So reporting and data is something that typically a destination might be sending monthly or quarterly reports to their stakeholders. So to have all of that upended, it creates a lot of uncertainty and a lot of fear, I guess, of, can we still track the same things, measure the same things? So, I mean, a lot of the concerns and challenges and lived experience this year with the big shift, a lot of destinations particularly that lost a bit of confidence in their reporting and their analytics, and in some cases they haven't had good partnerships with whether it's an agency or the web developer or whoever who's good at building websites, but not necessarily good at the analytics and reporting side, and translating that into a way that when you're measuring things in Google Analytics 4, you need a very clear structure of what you're reporting, how you're reporting it, and then basically you need to create that. So creating that structure so you can then report. So while you can still track things like how many visitors and which pages they viewed, if you want to do the important things and report for a destination, for example, and report on lead generation to operators, which is a super important metric. As an RTO, for example, you need to be able to go back to your board and back to your operator members and say, we generated X number of leads to you guys this month. All of that has to be manually created now to track all of that off of your website. So a lot of people grappling with that, struggling with that, trying to find the expertise to do it. I know Tourism Tribe has a lot of expertise in that with training operators. We've certainly helped a lot of destinations in rebuilding some of that reporting, but it's very new. And I think where most destinations struggle, particularly regionally, is they've got one or two staff at most, typically, in marketing that wear all the hats. So product development, through to marketing, and they're expected to take care of a lot of this within their current role, and it's a huge learning curve for them.
It really is, and that's what we went through, that technical capability. So my own journey as a solo person, it was quite universal, was not as complicated, and I got really used to my reporting. It was just a set and a bit of a forget, really. Yeah. But we found through this journey, even with Tourism Tribe, even with our tech guru, Fabian, it was a journey. Like there was actually a lot of customization that was required, and I would highly recommend everybody, if that's just not your jam, to reach out.
Definitely look for help, and there's certainly resources out there, but a lot of resources are, even one of the questions I had yesterday was, does Google have some resources that can help? And I mean, they certainly have resources, and they're very generic. So when you're looking at tailoring your reporting in tourism, there's very specific things that are important to you, like leads to operators, like engagement. And that doesn't exist in the Google documentation. So I guess that's where Tourism Tribe, ourselves, others in this space have that technical expertise, but also the tourism experience to know how to mesh the two together and get the outcomes. And that's where, there's a lot of good results we're getting with some of our clients with dashboarding and various things to make that simpler. They don't have to go and look at all the techie data. They just look at a nice, simple monthly dashboard, and it gives them what they need. What they need,
that's customized to their needs. Because this is the thing, I mean, even in our little side chat earlier today, it's the concept of visitation, of human visitation. We've gotten really good, whether it's like the Tourism Research Australia, or it's an important metric. But we're still not even Google 4 or Google Universal Google. It's just something we haven't really prioritized. That's the beginning. Visitation to our websites. I think whether you're an RTO, a state government, or small tourism business, we have to start measuring that.
Yeah.
And that's a good metric for success, isn't it? Because this many people have come to our website to bookings or
exactly. And even beyond that, what are they engaging with? Like one of the metrics, a lot of our destination sites for regional clients are integrated with ATW, of course. So you want to understand if they're looking at a list of accommodation businesses, how are they engaging with those businesses on the page? So it's one thing to know that, okay, we've got 100 visitors to this page, but it's also nice to know, okay, we've got 100 visitors to the page, but 20 people clicked on the view map link. So there's engagement there that isn't necessarily a lead, but it's more than just looking at the page. Like they actually engage with the page, and we know which part of the page they engage with and which part of the listings and that sort of thing. So it doesn't solve all your problems, but having more awareness of what's happening with the visitor experience, it helps you understand their journey a little bit more. That, okay, if everyone's looking at the map listings, maybe, or the map section of a listing, maybe a little bit more information in our visitor guide or in our social media around where to find certain businesses, top accommodation in a certain category, that sort of thing.
It's gold.
It is.
It's gold in my microphone.
Insights
It's insights that you don't need to wonder or leave things to chance. It's all there. And that's freely available. Like it's a
It
free
is.
thing.
A little bit of work
You
to set it up.
Yeah, that's
It's a
right.
little bit of cost, obviously, if
Yeah.
you're engaging someone like ourselves to do it, but then it's
Yes.
done. It's not an ongoing,
As
you
a
have to
tool,
reinvent it every
yeah.
quarter or anything. It's just there.
That leads me to, I mean, it just that sparks like that conversation around like using data intelligence
Mhm.
to then what content. I read something
Yes.
just this morning around Google prioritizing that your existing content could be hurting your SEO. So sometimes even if you've got dated now, they're
Yeah.
getting so they're honing in on the user experience as much as
Absolutely.
we should be. And they're saying, well, if you've got dated things that are not going to serve our users to come to you,
Mhm.
you're going to be penalized.
Yeah. Well, I think that with the level of data that Google captures on your site through analytics, obviously, I mean, what they show us is only a small percentage of obviously what they're capturing in the background. And I mean, a lot of what they capture with visitors to your site, it's helping them improve search indexing, search results, getting better results. Because obviously, I mean, I'm not going to keep using Google if it gives me rubbish data every time I search. So it's in their best interest to give me what I'm looking for. And obviously, with the impact of AI and a few other things, there's challenges with how we're presenting that data. But one of the key insights that came out of a chat around the table yesterday was all this, I guess, fear and concern around AI. Some very justified, of course, and you talked about it in your section. But AI tools still have to get the information from somewhere. And that somewhere is the internet. And that internet is where your website is. So your website's still extremely important. There's often the big scare tactics of, websites are going to be dead in 5 years. And I think it's how we structure them, how we present the information, maybe how we're indexing the information in different ways to improve the user experience. That'll become more important, I think, because that's something Google's looking at. But a website as a trusted source of information, I think that's not going away anytime soon. It's really just what we're emphasizing on those sites and how we're presenting the information, whether it's FAQs on a destination, best Indian restaurants in Newcastle or something like that, making sure we're presenting that information in a really easy to use way that Google can then grab that, or ChatGPT, or whichever system we're using, Neuralink plugged into our brain, or whatever it is.
I couldn't agree more, because it's the trusted source, and I always look at it as real estate.
Yes.
Like that's your owned
You own it.
real estate. That what you put in there as a trusted authority, whether you're the destination or as a business, as a tourism business. From a content perspective, what can we do? Like, how can we improve that? I think we've still haven't quite now consistency or seeing best practice examples of just not having just a digital brochure in our website, something that's got more pulse, and look at it in the same way that Google is looking at theirs as our businesses.
Absolutely.
Can you talk to that, or how you're helping your clients with just maintaining a level of content creation?
It's tough, but I think there's certainly some challenges with that with AI tools as well, because obviously AI makes things a little bit easier in some areas, but the quality of content we're getting back from those tools is not great. We still need that human component, the human filter you and Liz mentioned.
Yes.
I think it comes back to really understanding your target customer, ideal visitor, whatever persona, profile, all the names we call them, but ultimately it's the person you're talking to. So you're not designing a page for Google, you're not creating content for Google, you're creating content for the person who's using Google to find it and answering their questions. So coming back to that, if you're not, whether you're a business or a destination, it really doesn't matter. Understanding who the person is that's coming through your door, whether you're a visitor information center or you're running a tour or you're trying to attract new visitors to your destination, you need to know what they're looking for at that point in their journey. And then serving that up to them in a way that's easy to use, easy to share, easy to bookmark. And obviously you'd post that on social media and whatnot, but our experience with all of the sites that we run is organic. Google search, Bing, all the rest of it is usually 80+% of the people coming to your site are finding you through some sort of search, whether it's Google directly or Siri or whoever. Yet a lot of the effort that goes into content is often on social media, which is hugely important. Don't get me wrong, but it's not balanced in my view in terms of the value of creating content that will sit on your website and reap rewards for you for years versus something you post on Instagram stories. It's there, it's gone. It might sit in your gallery on Instagram. People will trip over it, but value for your destination and your business, I think it's very much favouring content on your website that's really well structured. And I think we struggle with that because it does take more time, potentially more cost. You do need to,
Yes.
even if you're generating something through ChatGPT, for example, you still need a skilled writer who understands your audience to mold that into something that's actually helpful, not just a whole bunch of words that you've copied out of a robot to pop on the page and think it's done. So I think it all comes back to the fundamental principle of tourism, really. It's the visitor experience, the user experience. It's no different to someone coming through your front door at a visitor information centre. You want to help them get to the next step, book the next tour, package things up.
Yes.
Treating your digital visitors the same way with the same care is super important. I think we tend to get a little bit lazy and just posting stuff up online and hoping for the best sometimes.
Yes.
Rather
And
than
not seeing that as holistically. It's that's that journey and this is this journey.
Yeah,
it's kind of
offline,
all,
offline,
yeah,
online, offline, and
yes.
separating that is very much now. It's, I'm offline today, tomorrow I'm online, all the way through.
Yeah.
I'll walk past a sign down the main street of Newcastle. I'll go check something out, and then I'll be back on Google Maps looking for the next place, and I'll catch another cafe. I'll go check that place out. So it's very much that merging of online and offline, and making sure the level of experience is consistent across both.
That consistency. I couldn't agree more with you, because that is something. Back to that, like prioritizing, valuing, and respecting your websites in the same way as our destination. That is part of the story. I think, that's not owned media, the social media. It's still not. That's not our property. We don't own those relationships, that community there. And that's why we go, at Greek restaurants and have,
absolutely,
in Melbourne together. We could talk about this for days. And that's another, I guess, just with you mentioned there, I think that's been another big shift in the Google space of the maps now, with Google My Business to Google Business Profile, that it's very much centered around location.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah. So all good things to be on top of and maintain and be consistent with it. Thank you for being here.
Very welcome.
Newcastle.
It is.
Which
I'm
is
loving it.
Yeah, loving it. What's it? We were talking.
It's city in change. Change mode. It's very much evolving, and such a contrast going up and down. Even the foreshore, and you've got the ports in the background, and then all these funky new restaurants popping up on the foreshore here.
Yes, beautiful. Some key takeaways this year for you to finish up. What has been some key things that you'll take away back to the team in SA and Canada?
Well, I think one of the more exciting ones was Jan's presentation this morning on ATDW and their journey.
Yeah.
Excellent. I got the acronym right. I always trip over that one like everyone else. But I think that's super exciting because we work a lot with ATDW. We're distribution partner in terms of implementing it on websites. And I think it's exciting that whole technological change and just the principles they're changing with.
Yes.
The principles that are guiding that transition for them. It's very much focused on supporting industry, getting outcomes for industry, making it easier for them, more support, which is, I mean, they're all values that we live by ourselves in terms of the way we treat our clients as well. So I think it's exciting times in terms of what will be available. And I mean, it's a world-leading platform. Talking to destinations in Canada and explaining to them about ATDW, and they're just green with envy because it's we've got all these little siloed systems, whereas Australia, yes, it has challenges which they're working through, but that national database of solid tourism information that we can all work with and distribute and get in front of people, I think it's a real asset.
Just stuff of envy.
It is.
From around. Yeah, it was an excellent presentation. I mean, the most anticipated.
Yeah. Left us all hanging with
I've been really, shout out to Hayley from, I've been receiving texts. Is it out? Have they announced it? It's just been so. Thank you. I'm glad we got nailed you down.
Finally got here this year,
and look forward to seeing you again next year. Safe travels home to your family.
Yes.
And
a few detours to South Australia before I go and catch up with a few few of the team over there. And
That's a next stop. Oh, you're not,
Next
of
stop?
course. Yeah, you haven't been to SA
I'm still jet
yet.
lagged.
Yeah.
From getting
You've
on.
done pretty well,
No,
actually.
not too bad.
Yeah.
A few naps here.
It's a big one. It's,
Yeah, 20 hours of flying. So it's a long way.
It's a long way. Well, we're glad you make the trip for art. Thank you for all of your support to the art community, and
Very
just for as a and also just really elevating and being an ambassador for just how much digital we can use as an enabler for good things that we want to achieve.
Absolutely.
So well done. Congrats on everything. See
Thanks
you again.
for having me.
Thank you everyone for watching live and the replay. I'll see. As you can see, it's quieting down. That's the last lunch of the lunch rush is gone. But and hopefully I can get some more artful chats for you before we sunset at this year's convention. Thanks, Peter.
Thanks, Desi.
I've just bumped into this lovely lady here, Paula Freeman from Visit Rural, telling me she's just launched her new business last week, and we had to have a chat about it. Welcome. Thank you for agreeing
Thank
to
you.
do this live
Thanks
interview.
for having me.
My absolute pleasure. Paula, tell me about Visit Rural and your journey here, because tourism industry hasn't been part of your career or your work life.
No.
And I'm so curious to find out how we landed on Visit Rural.
Well, it was actually through my husband working with several councils in Queensland. And he just realised as he was driving through the regions and trying to book on the go, he had to go to quite a few different sites to plan and book that journey. And so we realised there's not actually sort of one site where he could do that. And then we realised after taking a bit of a wider look at it and researching, it's like, well, what if I am a tourist, coming from, somewhere else in Australia? I've got to book my tours. I've got to book my accommodation. Maybe I want to see an event in Queensland or anywhere in rural Australia. I have to go to like a dozen different websites to do that. And we thought, what if we had it all in one website? You can, package your own little holiday, and however many people you want going on that holiday with you. And you do it your holiday your way, and it's just one shopping cart with one payment. And so you're minimizing your digital footprint as well, because my husband's on the road. I'm going to put my credit card details in this one, put my email address here. You get spammed for the next month or two, if you're lucky. It's usually longer. So we thought let's do a family-friendly, tourist-friendly website where people can go and see our beautiful rural regions and have a great holiday there. And so we actually, with the Merrin Ozols Regional Council, Roma region you might be more familiar with, they have beautiful things to see there. And so they were the first council to endorse us and put their assets on our site. So we're starting very small for our pilot phase at the moment, but then we're going to be opening it up to the rest of regional Queensland, and then opening it up nationally January 2024. So we'd love to have any rural operators, whether you're a hotel, a farm stay, you can hold events, attraction, and you don't have your own platform, or even if you do, jump on. We've got our own booking engine, and it's ready to go. So
Paula, phenomenal. And you were just saying earlier you've come from an engineering background.
yes.
Very different industry.
It is. So previously I was a proposal writer with some of the engineering firms in Brisbane City. And when my youngest son finished school, I'm like, woohoo, I'm out of here. And then we came up with this idea, so I've been very pleased to join the tourism industry because everybody is so friendly and chatty, and engineers are lovely, but they're not the chattiest people. So I've really enjoyed the convention this year as well. It's my first one, and won't be the last one. So
And won't be the last one. Would have been, I guess, as someone very green to the industry.
Yep.
Not so much in business, but that I'd imagine that there'd be a lot of learnings in your journey, because you say even from a software development point of view.
Yeah, so I've had to learn the tourism industry and software development to build our website. We're working with a great software developer who used to be the former senior developer at, everyone knows Viator. So we've got him on our team. And yeah, we've got a couple of board advisors that have sort of helped track us through the business side of things, making sure we've got all our governance. You'll see all our privacy policy and cookies policy and all the user agreements are all intact in the website there as they should be. And just making sure everything's as smooth as possible, not just for visitors, but for our vendors, for our operators and hotels, because in the rural regions, a lot of it is written in a book. And so we actually, unlike sort of the global booking companies, we actually went on the ground, a 3-week tour of the Merrin Ozols Regional Council. We talked with the operators who are mum and dad operators like my husband and I. And we just found out what they wanted and what they needed and what's the easiest way for them to transition from, you know, written to digital. And so we're really customer focused that way. And, you know, even yesterday during my break, I was helping someone with their login and stuff. And it's like, yeah, we're really focused on that. And focused on just great customer support and just the user experience. I found there's a bit of a gap there with, you know, the journey actually starts, you know, when you go to book your holiday, not so much when you've done all the booking or even getting a travel agent to do it can be expensive. This allows you to do it yourself and just in the one spot. So,
look at that multi-level approach that you're not only delivering and offering rural experiences. I'm really loving the niche aspect of this. It's a booking platform, very niche to outback and rural experiences and adventures, but you're also providing a really bespoke solution for those suppliers and operators that are in those areas.
Yeah, exactly. We really are focused on regional because there is so much focus on the big ticket items, the cities, our beautiful coastal areas. They're taken care of. They're in the limelight already. We've got, when we went out back and did the travel around, you know, in Queensland, we have our big ticket items, Age of Dinosaurs, Qantas Museum, tons of other stuff. But it was the journey in between there that we saw. There is so much more to see. But yeah, just helping them to move across to go digital so that the whole world can come and see them it's been over 12 months in the making, and so it's a bit surreal sort of coming into, we just launched our website last week, like we just pushed a button and it was all ready, but no, blood, sweat and tears the whole way. So
look,
worth it, so worth it. We're so
I'm sure
dedicated.
everyone that's watching and listening live or the replays kind of like preach.
Yeah.
I mean, you've definitely found your people here, even leading. So this is not a convention you were fully aware that's happening.
No.
So you even finding and being here was
by chance.
Yeah. What have been some of your takeouts from the learning so far?
Yeah. I've loved all the speakers that have spoken about things where being online and digital, where I've been mostly interested in the data and the trends. So those speakers that have spoken on that. We've also used a bit of AI to build our website. So looking into that technology and very excited to see where the future lands for, can't say too much without giving things away because we're very cutting edge, we're hoping to disrupt the market in a good way. So keep an eye out. We've got plenty more up the sleeve that, you know, you might not have expected.
Yes.
But as for the convention, sorry, getting back to that, definitely it has also emphasized to me how important the user experience is, and it still seems a bit fragmented. If I'm a tourist and I want to book, there are definitely great products there to do this, that, over here and here, but when I start my journey, how about if I just had it all in the one spot? And so that's emphasized to me that a website like Visit Rural is definitely needed. There is a gap there for our tourists on the first step of their journey to make their way to our beautiful country and especially to our rural regions. So
fantastic. This is what I'm loving hearing at this conference. There is new people, new
Yep.
thinking,
Yep.
new technology,
Yep.
and we are all moving in the right direction in a really supportive environment from where we go here. I look forward to seeing you speak next year with the learnings and the launch.
Yeah.
Not so, but I think it will be a great thing to come together
Yeah.
like in 12 months' time and
Yeah,
see
see how it will go on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And can I just add in, we are an Australian-owned family company, like a lot of our operators. We're not global giants, and we're very competitively priced as well. Like our costs are very comparable with the market. In fact, they're mostly under. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Look, Paula, is it visitrural.com for anyone that's listening to visit and start checking it out?
Yeah, visitrural.com.au.
.au, of course. the
Keep in mind,
Australian
it's a
bit.
pilot at the moment, so watch this space as it progresses and gets more on there.
Oh, I
Yeah.
can't wait to check it out, and I'll be following your journey with great interest.
Oh.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for taking the opportunity to properly, you've
Great.
launched your business
Wow.
at ART,
Yes.
which is very exciting.
Yes,
And will you be returning next year?
I definitely will, and I will bring my husband, he's been my partner in all this. So I can't sit here and take all the credit. Him as well. So,
Excellent. And what have you thought of Newcastle? Have you visited
Oh,
Newcastle?
I not just dropped into the airport on my way to the Hunter Valley. So to be able to just have a look, I did the walking tour. Those girls are crazy for Newcastle, which I love. So it's been great. I will come back here. I'd love to come back to Newcastle and to the convention, wherever that may be. But yeah, definitely love
Hopefully
Newcastle.
we'll soon find out
Yeah.
where next year's will be,
yeah.
so we can plan our trips. Thank you so much. All the best for the year ahead and beyond. And we'll be hearing more. Hopefully I can get some more because we're starting to sunset the convention. Hopefully I can get some more artful chats in before we go. Thanks, everyone. Thank you. The most anticipated interview yet. I have been eagerly looking forward to having a conversation, an artful chat with the beautiful Georgia Lazzari from the city of Newcastle. Thank you for agreeing to do this.
Thank you so much for asking me to. I'm delighted to have an artful chat with you.
An artful chat here in your own backyard. I can just, the sense of pride of having the nation's regional tourism community here in this city from yourself and your colleagues has been awe-inspiring, actually.
Thank you. That's a beautiful thing to say. Look, it's pretty special. We host many conferences in Newcastle, but this one is pretty special. And securing this conference against many other destinations, I think, is testament to the work that my team has done in the last 3 years to elevate Newcastle's visitor economy, and I couldn't be prouder. I've worked with such a wonderful group of people. We work in collaboration and in partnership with our industry, and we have a wonderfully supportive council who invest in the visitor economy. It's fantastic. I'm very privileged to do the job that I do.
I did, Georgia, that labour of love is this is the fruits of that. And just even seeing with Ben and your relationship and just the way you talk, and even on using platforms like LinkedIn about your team has been just fantastic to see. Something that has continuously come up in the conversations that I've had is just the growth in Newcastle. People haven't visited here for a long time, and this convention has brought them back, and they're all going, I can't believe how much it's evolved. Now, tell me about that journey in bringing in the visitor economy and experience as a priority from a local government level.
Yeah, sure. And it's multi-layered, to be honest with you. So, as our Lord Mayor mentioned yesterday, Newcastle has historically, we've had a really diverse visitor mix. So, corporate travel happens organically, really, because of the size of our economy. Then we have business events. We've had a convention bureau for many years, and in fact, I think we were the first regional convention bureau in Australia. So we've had a really strong business events sector in Newcastle for many years, and obviously we leverage through the University of Newcastle, Hunter New England Health, Hunter Medical Research Institute, and we've also invested heavily in events, so attracting visitation through leisure events, whether they're spectator or participatory. But in terms of Newcastle being positioned as a straight leisure destination, that is not a body of work we've embarked on. And without sounding, without sounding complacent, I guess we haven't embarked on that. One, because we really haven't had to historically, because our visitation mix has been so robust, and we haven't relied on that holiday tourism or short break tourism. But our destination management plan really highlighted that is our area for growth. And, you know, it also coincided with a lot of investment from our state government. The light rail, which I'm sure most delegates have been enjoying whilst they've been here at ART, the installation of the light rail has absolutely been fundamental to investment within our CBD. So prior to the light rail going in, it was a heavy rail corridor, and it essentially split our CBD in two. When that opened up, investment flooded in through the work of the state government and local government advocating for that as well. And our council does a fantastic job at that. And then we've seen the likes of, you know, QT come to Newcastle, as well as Crystal Brook, the Kingsley, which is absolutely fantastic. We have a thriving nighttime economy, and culinary and after dark has really taken off in Newcastle. So it's really been a long-term evolution, but we're there, and it's absolutely brilliant, and we're reaping the rewards. And I'm always absolutely delighted when people come here for the first time, or they haven't been here for many years, when people say, "Oh my goodness, look at the change."
That's been the highlight. That's been a theme, really, of bringing our people here, every conversation when we're talking about Newcastle. So congratulations to you and the wider team for that vision, and really just putting that into action. Now, talking about the convention, the thought leadership, the conversations, what have been some key takeouts for you from a professional development point of view?
From a professional development point of view, I really think that AI lens is really important, and it's something that we really need to take on board through destination marketing, through how we deliver our services, through visitor information. It's something that we need to start really proactively playing in and investing in, because it really marries in with visitor experiences.
Well, that makes me excited, because delivering that talk and just seeing how we can elevate our service when our human capital is limited, how we can bring in these tools to deliver better service. I love it. That's a key takeaway.
It is. And the other one is, which is really dear to my heart, it's in terms of talent attraction and retention. And, you know, we do a lot of work with the University of Newcastle, and we've also started to work with the Department of Education, getting into secondary school at years 9, 10 and 11, and working with those careers advisors, so we can actually demonstrate to students the beyond the frontline career opportunities in the visitor economy. Because a lot of our young talent, they will start in hospitality while they're going through school. They may have a really poor experience, and then they may say, "I'm not interested in making a career out of the visitor economy." So it's really important that we work hand in glove with the Department of Education, so we're getting those students before they hit tertiary education, so then they can take a long-term forecast of their career opportunities in the visitor economy, because it's a fabulous sector.
I've got 2 mics to drop double on that one. Drop the 2 mics. You're just talking.
You're funny. Talking your language.
You're talking my language. It's something, certainly, yes. It's not a considered pathway. We've all come, I guess, even if we do a survey how we all landed a career, it's a passion. We had crushes on the world, crushes on our community, and we've landed here before our youth. This is something I certainly think we need to explore more, how we can get to the students and departments and the education piece earlier, when I don't know what to do to put our industry forward, that it's so much more.
Absolutely, it is. So we've developed a great little training videos that's now used in some of the secondary schools here, where we've interviewed many people from our sector who talk about their career path. And it's really interesting, I had a great conversation with Kent Warren, who was the previous chair of Newcastle Tourism Industry Group, and we were talking at length about this issue. And it was quite interesting when we were discussing, when you talk to your careers advisors at school, the careers advisors will often ask you, well, what subjects are you tracking really well in? And they look at it from what interests you from an intellectual perspective. And of course, the visitor economy is so diverse. And what we really need to be looking at is what your personality traits are. And back to your point about passion, because if you actually enjoy working with people, and if that's fundamentally what makes your heart sing, then you can choose whatever career you want in the visitor economy.
Yeah.
And we've often seen that as a weakness. It's not. It's an absolute strength.
It is an absolute strength, a strength-based approach in that talent attraction and acquisition. What do you look for when you're hiring? Where do you look? What's that like beyond the resume? It's a vibe, isn't it? It's sometimes you just can see it in someone, and you have to love the people.
It's an absolute vibe, you're
It's
right. While ticking all of those
Yeah.
mandatory things that are on a position description, it is a vibe. It's about cultural fit. And I also look, particularly with us in destination management, it's looking for people that are, I guess, interested in a holistic approach. And a holistic approach sounds really simplistic, but it is a lot of hard work to make sure that across government and with industry, we are all working together and singing from the same hymn book. And you need to be committed to that because it's a game of absolute inches, and you need to be committed to the long game.
Absolutely. I would love, I think from a art community, even the work that you're leading the way and training videos through the Department for Careers, I think that will be something that will be greatly shared. Like if we can share that and get for others to get inspired to kind of look at that more broadly, I think will be fantastic. You're the woman for a reason that we've been waiting for to have this conversation. Thank you. Keep up the amazing work. I think another continual, I guess, sentiment that has come out of this, I've got to come back with my family. I know for myself personally, even just going for a walk and a run and dinner last night, you can just we're all here on business, if you can call the industry that. I mean, this is just as much leisure, communing with all our humans of tourism, that are a great place to come back with partners, with friends and with families. So thank you for the opportunity and for hosting such an excellent conference in a really excellent destination.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And I look forward to welcoming you back when you come on Pure Leisure with your family.
Pure leisure. Thank you. And I will thank you, everyone. This is Georgia Lazzari from the city of Newcastle. And I look forward to having some more artful conversations with other incredible leaders like our Georgia here. Thank you. And see you soon. Welcome back. Katie Mather from Destination Kiama and South Coast Experiences. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for saying yes.
Yes, I know.
A new
Brave.
live, brave. It's brave, but we need to put Destination Kiama and South Coast Experiences on the map.
Yes.
Tell us, what do we need to know first about Destination Kiama?
Well, it's in that magical 2-hour window or under now of Sydney. So it's pretty established tourism spot. There are always amazing new things happening though. Like we have so many festivals. Our events person, Sally, is just driving out the festivals that are really becoming nationally renowned. Our New Year's Eve is known across the nation as one of the best regional New Year's Eves. So definitely worthwhile coming to festivals, and then lovely accommodation, beautiful coastal walks. Like there's a lot to be done in Kiama.
Events for the visitor experience and visitor economy. It's just a perfect match, isn't it?
Yeah.
More and more, but Kiama have really driven that visitation through your events calendar, which is great to see.
Yeah. It's been with the backing of Destinations Kiama and then all the new innovative events organisers that are coming through with music festivals, and then like I said, the ones that Destinations Kiama is running. It's just a jam-packed sort of program for the year.
Now, dear Kate, your baby, South Coast Experiences. Tell me, as a clear destination ambassador for Kiama, tell me about your journey and the need to launch something that's very South Coast driven and highlighting the experience of your region.
Okay, so yeah, it came off the back of my marketing and PR background, and I was doing marketing and PR for a guest house in Gerringong that became really successful within the campaign. And what we saw off the back of that was that the visitors who wanted to come and stay really wanted to have an itinerary built and created and designed, and it was very hard for them to go out and actually have the time and the patience to go and find it. To find those different experiences, those passion projects that have been turned into experiences. So I went off the back of that and built South Coast Experiences that was itinerary based, and now it's sort of morphed into another business that it's membership based business that members are either stays, they're experience providers, they're bricks and mortar businesses, all offering an experience. And I can build itineraries, or the visitor can go direct and book the experience or accommodation.
Brilliant, because this is that collaborative piece and just how important it is. I mean, call it itineraries, call it a centralized packaged experience. Right?
Yeah.
And I know we were talking about earlier, and I mean, Liz and I ran a session on artificial intelligence and ChatGPT and how quickly we can kind of publish an itinerary. However, is it a trusted source? And the answer, read the room everywhere. It's not. And this is where a localized experience and itinerary building is critical and important as a trusted authority.
Yeah, so I think that's exactly right. And I mean, I think AI has an amazing place to play for sure. But then having someone that's on the ground and knowledgeable and works with the business, more guests or more clients, customers to the members. And so it's a win-win for everyone, really.
It's a win-win for everyone. It's a win-win that you came and joined me and shared your
thank you for
knowledge
inviting
and
me.
your passion. How have you found, is this your first time at the art convention?
Yeah.
Would you come back?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I've learned so much. I've made wonderful connections, just really seeing what the industry does in that big space of Australian tourism, and then drilling down to New South Wales. I mean, I work quite closely with the destinations as it is across my area, but just really see the value that's out there, and the commitment and the passion, the drive across it has been really great, and the education, of course. Like it's been really good.
And so lucky it's kind of been in your hood, sort of. It's not too far.
Yeah, no, it's an easy 3.5 hour drive for me to get up here, and I've loved Newcastle. I'll definitely be coming back. I hadn't been here for quite a few years, and like just to see the innovative work of Newcastle and how they're really changing or have changed the whole sort of play around where they put the uni campus in the town to really encourage, just sort of observing all of that and seeing how innovative it really is. It's great. Yeah.
It is great. I did a show this morning, and they're like, if I could turn back time and go back to uni and go somewhere like Newcastle, like what an experience that would be for students coming to study here.
Yeah, it's got a real vibe about it. Just seeing people skateboarding to their next destination is really cool too. Like the skateboarders that are out there. We don't have that so much on the South Coast. But the beautiful walks, beautiful ocean waves. It's just the harbour. It's really gorgeous. Yeah.
It is gorgeous. So are you. Thank you. Let's go back. I'll let you go and all the very best with South Coast Experiences and Destination Kiama. Thank you everyone for joining and watching the replay.
Thank you.
Hello and welcome back, everybody, to Newcastle, to the art convention, and welcome to my special guest, Merrin Ozols from Fluro Peninsula Tourism.
Well done. Yeah, you had
Got it? Nailed
it? Nice. Thank
The
you for having me.
spelling and Fleurieu.
Yes,
Fleurieu.
it's a bit of a tongue twister, and recently moving from New South Wales, it took me a while as well. You can also say FPT. Fluro Peninsula Tourism.
FPT is the place to be.
Yeah.
Now, beautiful Merrin, this is your first time at the art convention, and you're also quite new to the whole regional
marketing, tourism. So you've had a good, tell us about your background, where you were and how you've landed into Fleurieu.
I was really fortunate to go and be a ski bum in Canada for about, one winter, which turned into 10 years over there. And living in Banff and Lake Louise, the primary economy was tourism. So fantastic opportunity to get involved and sort of work my way up, learning all aspects of the DMO. So I worked for Banff and Lake Louise Tourism over there. My sort of focus was in destination, visitor experience, events, and managing visitor centres and providing an incredible experience for the guests into the destination. We had a lot of issues managing dispersal, traffic, and I guess environmental impacts being inside a national park. So 2018 decided to sort of move back home and be closer to family and settle down. And I was lucky to get a role with New South Wales National Parks. So I was based in Sydney, working for the sort of Sydney-based national parks in a tourism and visitor experience manager role for the region. However, it's obviously an urban region. So that was a fantastic opportunity. Again, using my skills and expertise, but understanding a bit more of the Australian tourism landscape. And then COVID happened. And as with everyone, we were one of those families that just thought, let's just look, we've always loved the Fluro Peninsula and South Australia. We'd only visited a few times, but my husband and I sort of just said, if there's ever a job that comes up, let's just do it. Like, it's so nice, very livable, absolutely incredible experiences and quiet. Just incredible experiences and lifestyle down there. So very quickly after that discussion, he got a great job. So we packed up and moved.
I love that. It's similar. The man that has nailed what she said, and you're the perfect example. Create a place that people want to live, and then the visitor will want to come and visit. And you've done that.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible. So we've been down there 2 years now, and still, I recently was appointed to this role as the Executive Officer for Fluro Peninsula Tourism. I'm so honoured because it's an incredible region with such beautiful areas, lovely operators, and so much opportunity as well. But still, every weekend, my husband, my kids, and I were out exploring and just experiencing what that region offers. So I haven't even got around to the rest of the regions yet, but there's so much to do in South Australia. And I think just having that fresh lens of being from New South Wales, where you just get caught up in traffic, or you do the same thing every weekend, it's a little bit, can be a bit uninspiring, or you sort of take it for granted, just to put yourself in a completely different place, not knowing anyone, all our families in New South Wales, and just, exploring and taking that sense of adventure, pretty seriously. It's incredible, and it's a great fit for our lifestyle right now. So loving it.
Quintessential destination ambassador.
I love it. Yeah. I mean, there's not much not to love. Yeah. Everyone who goes there falls in love with it.
Now, I'm curious, going back to being overseas, the international landscape of visitor servicing and what you're bringing back. And I'm curious, is it same, or very different in mindset, in approach to what we are in Australia? Have you noticed some key distinct differences, or have you had learnings that you can bring back now into your leadership role within Fleurieu?
Yeah, I think, I'll talk about the Fleurieu, and where I was in Canada was a very particular region where we had big challenges managing congestion and also balancing the needs of the local community with, the need for the tourism and visitor economy. So in the Fleurieu, we're sort of still in a growth phase where we're like, hey, we're down here, come check us out. We've got so much to offer. Whereas in Banff and Lake Louise, we're more like, hey, maybe think about visiting at a different time of year, because there's literally no hotel rooms. There's nothing possible for you to do except just fill the streets, have traffic challenges, no parking. You're going to be impacting the wildlife because there's so many people getting up close to the bears and elks and that sort of thing. So different type of issue where that was managing congestion and trying to promote dispersal of visitors throughout the year. We do have, an incredible amount of visitation over the summer in the Fluro Peninsula. And one of our goals is to drive the dispersal to show people it's also a fab time to visit in the winter. Incredible. Imagine the cellar door, the fireplace crackling, and you're staying on a little hill just outside of McLaren Vale looking over the ocean. Not hard to sell, but I guess there's still that opportunity for dispersal, but we don't have the congestion challenges. So there's that part of it. And then there's also the side of it where I think we've got an opportunity to just be more welcoming as a region. One of the things that's really resonated from this conference has been kind of the key message that visitors don't really care that 4 councils have different priorities, even though they're in one region. And, you know, there was a session, I can't remember the lovely guy's name just there, but 51 councils in this region in Western Australia. The visitor does not care. They want to go to this destination because of how they perceive it, what's being sold to them as an experience that's offered. And I think that's something that I need to take back to our region and work on. Just that bit more collaboration and cohesiveness. And we understand different councils have their own priorities, but we've got to put the visitor first in that tourism space and sort of provide a seamless experience for them as a region, not you guys want to do this and then down here there's different challenges, but what's our destination doing for the visitor and how can we best work together?
That's a great key takeaway. And that was my next as a first time to this, and a great time for you as being in this new role.
Yeah.
Aside from that, which is an excellent takeaway, but we're all collaborating, but kind of with different remits. How can we centre that back to the visitor?
Yeah.
Or visitor centricity mindset. What have been some other things, and what would you recommend when you go back to your region? What will you be saying to them about this experience over these last couple of days?
Yeah, great question. Well, I think you usually come to a conference like this and it's fantastic networking and you walk away sort of uplifted and positive. It's been brilliantly in my face at this conference that there's been some hard truths and some hard facts about the current, I guess, economic outlook and visitor insights and trends. And it was really good to hear that so that we can realise our role as a regional tourism organisation in sort of being that leader for the destination, in driving that momentum going forwards and relaying the reality of the current challenges in the economy to those small operators and the big operators to help them maintain that momentum until we get through the challenges and, I guess, persevere to that acceleration stage, as DNSW would say. So I think we're all sort of talking about, we've come out of COVID, that was a great bubble for us as a region. Now things are picking up, borders are opening, but we're just hearing the facts that there is a few more sort of challenges potentially to ride out. So I'll be taking back to my region just some need for a bit of critical thinking and some strategic, I guess, work to look at what we can do to maintain momentum for our region and support our operators to ride out this wave.
So good. Riding out the wave, a good segue to Newcastle. We ran across each other this morning. Just so proud of ourselves.
Yeah.
We're running along the water.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Have you been, we're in Sydney, just a Newcastle experience.
Yeah, I feel like I've been here years ago. I'm just loving it. I've got a few friends here that I've caught up with, and I just feel like the city has changed. But that was just an incredible way to start the day this morning. Everything's so close. So 5 minutes, you're down on the Esplanade, little run, out with the masses, feeling part of the community. Incredible sort of sunrise spot. It's a beautiful spot. And I passed, as a mum now, one of the hotels had a little train set and a water slide. I'm like, yeah, I'm coming back with the kids. I can see them having fun and me relaxing. So, yeah, it's been better than expected, actually. Yeah.
Better than expected. A bit like when I came to your hood and now here, it's like inspiration for those family holidays.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I am so happy that I've seen you again here. Congratulations for all the great work that you're doing. I love your key takeaways. And it's great. We have definitely had the thoughts provoked and poked. There have been hard truths. But how we can practically take them back into our little practice now is going to be that's when we roll up our sleeves. Thank you for saying yes to this and all the very best. And Fluro Peninsula Tourism and Merrin Ozols. Ozols. Nearly there. I got a Fleurieu is where I went. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We'll be back with some excellent thought leaders and artful chats like Merrin. Hello and welcome to day 2 here in the beautiful city of Newcastle. And with me, welcome back again to Art and to a live broadcast, our wonderful Book Easy leader, Forbes Jamieson. Hello.
Thank you very much for having me again. It's wonderful to be back.
You do look different a little bit this year for anyone that's seen the videos.
We're lacking a mustache this year.
Yeah.
there was a strategic decision made to go down a different avenue,
Yes.
and we're seeing where that leads.
Yes. Excellent. So how are things at Book Easy? A lot has changed. Catching up with you recently at the Victorian Information Services Summit. Do you want to share with everyone some new changes with the platform, with yourself? How you been the last 12 months?
Yeah. Well, when we spoke last time, it was we were still in the midst of the general bounce back for the destinations, and so they were normalizing a lot of their operations, and we were seeing the emergence of some really cool trends which have continued to extrapolate, if you will. And so we've seen things like nature tourism bounce back very hard and stay strong. People wanting to get out in nature, go camping, caravanning, that kind of thing. And on the back of that, we continue to see the local and the state governments continue to upgrade their systems to allow for visitors to take advantage of those services in a modern way, which has been absolutely fantastic. It's fantastic for the destinations, it's fantastic for the states, and most of all, it's fantastic for the travellers. And then we've seen sort of that return to normal for the destinations in general. So that would be the visitor centres and the visitor servicing. That's continued to develop along those kind of lines as well. They're beginning to invest in their own infrastructure and bring out a whole lot of new approach to visitor servicing, which has been really great to see.
Excellent. Now, with Newcastle, last year was your first.
Yes.
If I recall, your first Australian Regional Tourism Conference convention, and now we're welcome back to Newcastle. How have you found your Newcastle experience?
I have been very pleasantly surprised. I know, maybe 5 or 10 years ago, this was transitioning from, what would have traditionally been a very industrial city, and you're beginning to see sort of the outshoots of that old that older infrastructure and some of those classic buildings being repurposed for modern uses, and it's been fantastic. The food scene, excellent. The bar and nightlife scene is excellent, and the general surrounds are wonderful. So I've had a very pleasant time here.
It has been first time.
This is my first time.
First time to Newcastle.
Newcastle, yes.
I've been the same. I mean, I came a long time ago for an industry funding. Now, for any Newcastle operators and destinations and regional tourism organisations who don't know about Book Easy, but further to that, don't really haven't gone down that path or thinking about that path of conversion and booking capability, what are the key things, or what's a good starting point for them to know?
Yeah, perfect. So for most of the destinations, they will at least be, if they aren't doing this already, they're probably on their way to doing it, but they usually start with a membership program, because part of their remit is obviously to support local businesses develop, and part of that is the tourism part of that. And so most destinations will have invested in simple things like a website, perhaps a visitor information centre, and perhaps they have some staff who are dedicated to economic development. And so the natural progression for them doing that development work on behalf of those operators, the natural progression in that is usually around giving them the tools that are necessary to, be a successful business in the 21st century. And so that can be things like booking systems, it can be things like using social media, it can be things like leveraging existing local platforms and infrastructure for their business. And the next thing that the visitor centre can do is, of course, promote those businesses in a way where people can make a booking for them on their own website, in their visitor centre, and in any other capacity they may do. A lot of destinations will run something like a museum, or they'll be running their own caravan park or something like that. And so we're obviously a small piece of the wider puzzle, lots of tools for people to use. But the reason why you'd come to us is because you want to promote your members and your local operators on your own digital infrastructure. You want to give your visitor centre staff the tools to commercialize and to promote those members at the same time, because as we all know, the ability for local tourism efforts to self-fund or partially self-fund it's always a hot issue, and so that's where we come in. We give the guys those tools to take their promotion to the next level, but also to commercialize and make the booking experience for their visitors better. So we're kind of in the middle, trying to assist all parties.
what I also got excited about when I heard you and Chris speak recently, Forbes, was this. I mean, it's all about connectivity, community, all the good stuff. A lot of that cross pollination.
Yeah.
I had to get that gold that you shared last year. But also this e-commerce capability that Book Easy is now launching into, of not only showcasing experience but local product and produce that can be, because a lot of visitor information centres are coming into that retail space, and that now we have an e-commerce solution that's coming, it's been developing, and is something to look forward to. Am I
Yeah.
correct in that? Did I capture that?
Yeah, so this has been a highly desired piece of functionality for a while, and we're still in the very early stages. We're not promising anything super quick.
You're doing an ATDW.
Yeah. We're not going to rebrand, but I'm also not committing to anything.
Yeah.
So Book Easy at the moment has its own point of sale retail system, so that's built in. So you can do your third-party bookings and your retail bookings as part of the same itinerary, process it as a transaction the same. There's a few bolt-on things that we've been able to do on websites where we've been able to integrate a retail system so that somebody can seamlessly make a booking on your website without having to leave for a piece of retail product that you have. Probably further on down the line, that will be integrated properly with Book Easy, and that's a bit of a game changer. And I don't want to say categorically, because this is always the retail offerings in various spaces are always different, but many destinations have been incredibly successful promoting local product, which it's a win-win for everyone. It's a way that they can have a competitive advantage and offer something unique to the visitor. Gone are the days where you're just going to get a fridge magnet or something from the visitor center like my grandparents did. And visitor centers and destinations are branching out into things like alcoholic beverages. Some of them have a license to sell that. Local meats, jerkies, berries. Some places are famous for their cakes and cupcakes. Some places are mining communities, and they've got pieces of bauxite that you can buy in a little case. So the possibilities are really endless for them to do that. And the commercialization part of that, so being able to fund a significant portion of your operations to a retail operation, it really shouldn't be underestimated. And so that's another one of those things that we're trying to push as part of a wider effort to, try and start the conversations with the destinations around commercializing more, having a deeper offering for the visitor and for their operators.
It's so exciting, because even from a retention or return, or I recently when I was in a Victorian region, and I just thought, well, I would love to, like, you think Christmas is coming up, even from that retail e-commerce, like I want to be able to purchase produce I might not be able to visit, but we can still have this relationship of retention, or continue that I guess association with the destination through produce, which is why agritourism and everything that we talk about is so important. It's exciting.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
Anything else you'd like to share about your art experience this year, conversations that you've been having in the last day and a bit? What are you finding? What's been a highlight? And what would you say to those that aren't here, that might have some FOMO, or might be considering, I really should put that on my agenda next year? What are they missing out on?
Right. So the first,
three questions in that.
Yeah. So your first point there about what's been great about this particular conference, and I've been seeing it as a little bit of a trend across the states, is that there's a bit more of a constructive conversation about what the role of the visitor center should be. And this is something that we at Book Easy have been passionate about for a number of years, is about trying to convey the message that the role of the visitor center needs to become more expansive than it might have traditionally been in many places. And so yesterday there was a great talk between a number of people running first-rate visitor centers across Australia, and they've all been putting forward their vision of what the visitor center should be. And I think that's fantastic. That's an opportunity for people to take the best practices of multiple different regions and then repurpose it for themselves.
Yes.
And I think that is invaluable. That kind of feeds into your second question there about what people might be missing if they're not attending one of these, maybe every couple of years or whatever it might be, is that the opportunity to come here and meet very smart, very talented, very driven people who have divergent views about what visitor services should be. This is a key opportunity for you to come in and meet some of the leading minds who are in this space. And it's obviously very niche and interesting, but that's a key takeaway. There's obviously updates from the likes of the company that used to be known as ATDW and various other key players in the industry, and it's always great to see what they're doing and what's coming down the pipeline. And finally, this is tourism. This is a relationship business, and so the opportunity to come in, meet people, shake hands, hug, that can't be replaced. So I
Call them by their surname.
Yeah.
I've been calling him Jamison for the last day.
It's all about the inside jokes. So,
the inside jokes.
Yeah.
But I love what you shared, and I love that session, like the case studies. And that's another thing. There's just so many different conversations and shared learnings. And it was interesting with Mudgee, I think it was.
Yes.
Mudgee yesterday
Yes.
was saying they actually actively said no digital. And they've been on a journey and now kind of going down this pathway and introducing, because we're seeing, well, when it comes to service, it's not about, that there's a disconnect if we're not connecting in this way, in the way the consumer. So I thought that was a really good takeaway.
And I'd actually like to applaud them for that. I mean, it takes a lot of chutzpah to try to chart your own course, but also the flexibility to recognize when maybe a little bit of a change needs to happen.
Yes.
It's also invaluable because we're always changing, always adapting to what's happening.
And it's great to see. Thank you for all of your support, and it's great to have you here as a key trade partner. And so
pleasure.
I'll let you go to have some more chats and hugs and back slaps, and all the best for the year ahead and beyond.
Thank you very much, and thanks for having me.
My absolute pleasure. Thanks, everyone. We'll be back soon with another great artful conversation. Hi there, everyone. It's lunch hour. It's a bit busy behind us, but I've got the wonderful Scott Taylor from Guru Productions. Thank you for saying yes and dropping by to visit me here at Art.
I couldn't say no. Hanging out with the wonderful Despina. I mean, what else are we going to do?
Scott, Guru Productions. Now, you are very used to being in front of the camera, introducing to the world destinations and experiences through your TV production. Can you tell us a little bit about Guru Productions and what you do?
Yeah, sure. Guru Productions, we're based in Western Australia, but we've got film crews at all times all over this wide brown land and also all over the globe. So at any one time, we've got between 3 and 8 crews out in the field, and whether that's lobster fishing in Nova Scotia, or meeting the sand people in deepest Africa, or hanging out in Marimbula catching some oysters. We're out telling compelling stories collaboratively with the tourism organisations that want to get their story out to not only Australia but the rest of the world.
Fantastic. Now I relate this back to a show like I'm from Victoria, something like Postcard.
Sure.
On commercial, we're talking commercial networks.
That's exactly right. There is a slight difference with what we do. So each episode specifically tells the story of one region that we do collaboratively with that regional organisation. As an example, we might work with Access Canberra and we do a specific 6 or 7 story episode that relates directly to that one region, and it gives us the opportunity to create a multi-layered tapestry. So we've got people's attention for 30 minutes and we can tell the story about history and culture. We can talk about food and wine. We can talk about innovation and great places to see. It gives us an opportunity to work really collaboratively to ensure we understand what the messaging is for each of those tourism organisations and make sure that we put our creative spin on it to clearly elucidate those messages for the viewing public in Australia right the way across the 9 networks. So it's across all Channel 9 channels Australia-wide. So there's 3 rollouts, if you like. And the first rollout is here terrestrial TV on Channel 9 in Australia, and that's anywhere between 600 and 900,000 views, and that's the first iteration. The second rollout happens internationally. As an example, at the moment, our agent in New York has got the varied shows, including Destination Australia, including Explore TV, in 160 countries at the moment. So we're in all the Baltic states, we're in right through the Middle East, and you can log on and see my stupid face.
I'm glad I didn't ask that before we started. It's all quite intimidating from a little production here.
No, you're silly.
It's
No,
impressive.
what are you
It's so impressive. Now, my thinking goes into content, whether it's from a destination, any kind of show you're doing for an operator, with my operator hat on, that would be incredible content.
Yeah, totally. First of all, we only accept world-class content, and that's on us. So the teams, the equipment that we use, there's no handheld devices. It's it's all the proper gear. Guru Productions has been in operation for 23 years. We produce north of 120 episodes of TV, each with 6 or 7 stories. So from a quality point of view, it's Channel 9 quality, it's Prime Video streaming service quality. The expectation is with the reach that we get, there's no gap between us and the very best that you could expect. So from a quality point of view of delivery production value, it's super, super, super high. We work collaboratively to generate the appropriate content to make sure that the messaging is absolutely clear, and taking nothing away from some of the other travel shows or food and travel shows that are out there. I think that's our key point of difference, that in that 30-minute time slot, we tell 6 or 7 stories about one region and ensure that each tourism organisation has got their own key marketing points, their key demographics that they want to hit, and we sit down and work through it and make sure that everything that we do ticks as many of those boxes as we possibly can.
Absolutely brilliant. Well, you're in the right place. I mean, we're showcasing the best of regional Australia here at the convention. For anybody interested in working with you, what would be the best place of contact, and how do they engage you? How do they put themselves forward?
Well, what I might do, if it's okay with you, Despina, we can put my contact details up on here.
Yes.
I've probably got a cute little 1 or 2 minute sizzle on my laptop that we can sort of send out, which will give people
we'll share in
a
the
bit of an idea.
comments afterwards. We'll exchange and give the information.
Yeah. So it's a great project that we do. This is an exercise, and we're just kind of coming to the place where all of the clients that we work with are here. We're booking late 24 and 25. So we've got things like Ecotourism Discover Australia. We're doing a wine-oriented series of 8 episodes where we're going to do the Yarra. We're doing where else are we doing? Adelaide Hills, Mugga River. I'm a West Aussie, big Mugga River Shardy fan. And working closely with those either regional tourism organisations or even the local tourism operators. It's interesting because we're at such a large scale. The cost base is really achievable, even for a local tourism organisation. So we get companies like the Margaret River and Bustleton Tourism Organisation or department that we work pretty closely with, and once we've filmed the episode of 6 or 7 stories, there's unlimited free access to plus all of the B-roll, plus a socials package that supports it. So we don't normally have to sell anything. Usually people that we talk to just go, holy cow, that's really great, sign me up. So we're going through and building some really interesting nuances on just the simple Destination Australia model. And looking forward to getting out there, and I can't wait for the wine thing. I'm really excited.
Well, I can't wait to check out more about what you do.
Cool.
I'll drop in the comments more information for people to check out, and just great to connect with you.
Thank you.
Before you jet off.
Thank you for making the time. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Cheers.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back here. I am with the fabulous
Liz Ward from Tourism Tribe. So wonderful to see you again, Liz.
Darling,
I'm excellent now that I'm sitting here with you to do our first live interview for the day. And what better person to do it with than my tourism sister, Liz Ward. Now, Liz, Tourism Tribe, we've certainly been on a journey together. Tell us the journey that Tourism Tribe has been on in the last 6 months and all of the amazing work that you're doing in industry centered around data intelligence. And what we're going to speak about together today, later on this afternoon, artificial intelligence, the lead magnets. Tell us a little bit about how you're supporting and contributing to our industry.
Thanks, Desi. Look, I haven't seen a change like we are experiencing in 2023 since the birth of, say, e-commerce for tourism operators. If we think back 10, 15 years, we really wanted operators to get an online booking system, have a website, understand what an OTA was, understand what Google was and how to search engine optimize. And then with the rise in social media, and it much stayed the same. It was about getting it implemented, doing it better. But with the rise of artificial intelligence and the knowledge that has and awareness that has been switched on through the incredible, unprecedented growth of a tech tool with being ChatGPT and the ability, the accessibility to low-cost marketing automation, email marketing automation, and then the rollout of Google Analytics 4. The convergence of these three technologies, AI, automation, and analytics, we've not seen anything like this before. This is the game changer. And there is one message that we are really trying to communicate to the industry at a regional tourism level, at a government level, at an operator level, is that things have changed and we have to adapt. We have to adapt with this new technology to take advantage of the opportunities and to be competitive online and be competitive generally in what we do. The bar has been absolutely raised when it comes to how we do our marketing and how well we can service our customers, both for information and inspiration, for service itself, for that human touch service. Through automation and AI, this has been absolutely changed. And we've got to now raise the bar ourselves in our companies, in our cultures, in our governance models, in our processes, in our marketing, to be able to catch up and get on the front foot, really catching up. I think this, as a tourism industry, we can get on the front foot. Because there's issues of question marks over how do I use this for the consumer. There's issues of trust. So we can get ahead for once. If we really pay attention to these opportunities now, we could actually get to where the customer needs us to be before they fully get there. Whereas we've always been trailing behind, So yes. And it's been interesting this morning at the ART convention has been all the talk on the floor about AI. So people are stopping, wanting to have conversations about what does it mean? We're coming to your and Desi's presentation because we want to understand it better. And there's lots of question marks over it. And I see the reasons for the question marks, but I just see the opportunities. And those people have tapped into using tools like ChatGPT to save themselves time in the work that they do. They're all over that. They understand. Yes. And that is just a toe in the ocean in terms of the opportunities. And I know that with our presentation this afternoon, you're going to touch on things that get into that heavy laboursome work of delivering our services and also giving really fantastic customer service, which is a hallmark of a great destination and businesses, and how you can use AI tool to take the pain and the time out of that. So it's a remarkable time that we're going through because I haven't seen a change like this for 15 years.
Well, it's exciting. I get excited when I see you excited. And as someone, talking about time, and I guess for anybody in the industry that doesn't know this great woman, ATDW founding CEO. So you have really been at the forefront to see digital transformation. And more than that, it's evolution, isn't it? We're continuously evolving with this change, which is why I guess we all gather here at ART to connect and share and exchange. Speaking of that, key takeaways, data is a big thing, and the analytics side of things and the insights that we have access.
Just give me the mic. Give me the mic.
I can't wait for our presentation.
I'll say one thing. I think the other big takeout for me about the world we're operating in now is if you can't measure what you're doing in a marketing and distribution sense, just stop, would you? Would you just doing it and take a step back and start to understand the purpose of analytics, data that you have free access to be able to not only measure the return on investment of your acquisition, whether that's through your social media efforts or, you're updating your ATDW listing and you've got it sitting on some great platforms like Australia.com and your state tourism organisation, your word of mouth, have all those acquisition points. What about the journey through the website? If you've got marketing activities that are going on there, all the effort that you put into your product pages on your website and setting up campaigns and running campaigns, if you aren't measuring that and setting some goals against it and then making decisions off the back of what those reports are saying, then you're only doing half of your job.
Yeah.
And that's been some of the amazing work that our team has been doing, has been working individually with tourism operators and some association marketing organisations to help them do that. And it's making a big difference because now they're not just, throwing some paint at the wall and hoping it sticks. They're actually taking a bit more of a scientific approach. And this is the world we're living in that we have to incorporate into our marketing. And the other great work that the team's been doing, and I particularly would like to make a shout out to Destination New South Wales. We've had individual product operators come to us, but Destination New South Wales put 100 operators through a lead generation program where these operators create using AI, using Canva, low-cost email marketing automation system. They set up lead generation on their website with a beautiful lead magnet. The collaboration, the approach in terms of promoting the destination and putting their own flavour on it as to what you can do in the destination, really in their niche, and creating these beautiful lead magnets that can then start to establish a nice segmented database and be able to have some email marketing nurturing sequences. This is a big shift in these businesses, and NSW got us to run a program for 100 operators in New South Wales, and the results, the beautiful lead magnets they have created using AI and Canva is something to behold. And that most of them would have said, "Oh, I can't do that at the beginning of it," but they're all over it.
Oh, fantastic work. And speaking of that, there's a great, can we talk about it? Yeah, it has been launched, but you hear it here first.
In the next hour.
Yes. If you tell us about the collaboration and the partnership that is soon to be launched.
Yes, well, ART, of course, over the last few years have played a role in implementing education tools and forces for the industry. And so we've worked with them to turn on with ART for their financial members an affiliate discount. So we're partners, Tourism Tribe and ART, and our partners for discounted access to Tourism Tribe's Digital Academy, which is into our supported online courses, which teach you about AI or lead nurturing or analytics or just the fundamentals, getting the fundamentals right. All of that is really well supported with help, group coaching sessions on a fortnightly basis that operators can join. They can also purchase one-on-one coaching at a discount. They can get a digital engagement health check. They can join one of our fast track programs on lead generation, analytics. So it's a good service, and it's something that where ART and Tourism Tribe are aligned with trying to enable the industry with some more knowledge and really practical learning. It's very practical.
Yes.
So I'm excited about that.
Yes.
So that gets launched today.
Wonderful. Well, congratulations.
Thanks.
Thank you for stopping by to run our first live interview. So thank you to everyone on LinkedIn and on Facebook for joining us. Any parting words for those that aren't here, why they should prioritise this art convention as a key conference next year?
Do you know one of the standout things about this conference for me is how welcoming the delegates are. I never see anyone left for more than a few seconds standing on their own. This is a very family feel conference where you feel part of your tourism community. Everyone's in regional tourism. Your tribe is very clear and you're made to feel part of it. And so that connection that you can have with other people, that's where the magic happens in terms of the learning, shared experience. Yeah, it's great. And look, the program this year is really punchy. But I think honestly, the great reason is to come and meet your colleagues across Australia and be part of the conversation.
Yes. Well, and that was a great conversation. Thank you to everyone, and thank you to everyone that's watching the replay. We'll be back with some more legends and leaders like Liz throughout the day and tomorrow until the end. Thank you, Liz. Thanks, Ed.
And that's a wrap on this special throwback episode of the Tourism Hub podcast. I hope you enjoyed revisiting these insightful conversations from some of the most passionate and innovative minds in Australian regional tourism. A big, huge congratulations again to Melissa, our golden ticket winner. I can't wait to see you, and I can't wait to see everyone attending the 2024 Art Convention in Mackay next week. For those of you listening and watching and can't make it, stay tuned for more exciting, artful, inspired podcasts and interviews that we'll be sharing from Mackay. A huge thank you to our sponsors, our first sponsors, the Australian Regional Tourism Network, for making this episode and our partnership possible. You'll find all the information about the Australian Regional Tourism Network in the show notes, as well as their almost newly launched learning platform. And guess what it's called? Second drum roll. Tourism Hub. I know, meant to be. As always, thank you to our listeners and watchers for tuning in and supporting regional tourism, not just in Australia, but across the globe. Until next time, my beautiful tourism brothers and sisters, stay inspired and keep exploring the incredible beauty within our nation's regions, within yourself, within your teams, and what we need to do to not only share them, but protect and preserve. Until next time, my friends, I'm Despina Karatzias, and you're listening to the Tourism Hub podcast.